What's going What's going on, guys? Pixelated here, back at it again with another video. Today we are doing a much needed comparison. We are looking at two variations of one of Adidas's most popular silhouette. It is the Pure Boost ZG versus the Pure Boost 3.0. This is the truth segment where we pit two sneakers against each other and which sneaker is more comfortable, fits better, and overall a better sneaker. Here I have the Pure Boost ZG in the form of the Livestock collaboration, the Livestock Pure Boost ZG. Livestock, you already know what it is, my local boutique. Well, the most local it can get for me at least. And here we have the Pure Boost 3.0 in the form of the Y3 collaboration. The Y3 Pure Boost 3.0 in the crystal white or triple white colorway. Nothing local about my high fashion Y3 brethren. Without further ado, let's get into the shoe. Our first category for this throwdown is comfort. Here we look at how comfortable the sneaker is and mainly how much the midsole affects that. Now, if you look at the midsole of the Pure Boost ZG, you can see that there's a relatively thin layer of boost here. I mean, I wouldn't consider it thin, but compared to an Ultra Boost or even an NMD, the amount of boost here isn't close to what you'd see on those. Obviously, the comparison here isn't between the two, but those being the two most popular boost models, it's worth mentioning and making a comparison. However, for all intents and purposes, this amount of boost is more than enough. It's not like the boost is being oppressed and isn't getting its right to shine. I still sufficiently feel the boost when I'm walking. I mean, it is a full boost midsole, so it's not like there's anything missing. I guess I would be kind of spoiled or high standard to think otherwise. You will see that the outsole here is a super thick, tough rubber, and there is much more traction on these than, say, the Ultra Boost or NMD. Of course, by regular older sneaker standards like Jordans, Vans, New Balance, Asics, etc., this outsole isn't very thick, but versus many Boost sneakers, this is a good chunk of material right here. The Pure Boost ZG has insoles which make a significant difference in my opinion. This isn't the insole that it came with. I put a custom insole in just because I felt like it, but these are what it came in and they're sufficient just as it is. It's just a consortium insole, so most times people will remove the insole so their Boost sneakers fit right depending on the size they're able to get, but I prefer getting the size in which I can continue to wear the sneaker with insoles in it just because the difference is so significant. I'm telling you, insole less Joe, you're not taking full advantage here. You need to put those insoles in. You need to get the size where you can wear them with the insoles in. With that being said, I did have a few sizing issues with these sneakers. I went half a size up from my true to size because originally I went true to size, which is a size 10 for me, and it fit kind of weird, but we'll get into that in a bit. The Pure Boost 3.0 on the other hand has a full boost midsole as well. There is more overall boost here, as you can see. Just visually you can tell it almost looks like an Ultra Boost midsole. I feel like it might just be, but it most definitely has been modified in several ways. So yeah, there's more overall boost here to cushion the sneaker as well, so you can consider that an upgrade from the old to the new model. The huge noticeable difference here is the super thin outsole of the 3.0. It's borderline non-existent and minimalist AF. Like, the amount of rubber used here would probably equal like 1/4 of the material on this guy. Like, they just took this right here, melted it, made it super thin, rolled it into super thin rubber and just laid it on here. Shout out to Adidas on the resourcefulness though, and cheaping out on it, and I'm being serious here. As a person who purchases material heavy products like sneakers, it's good to see something like this that attempts to minimize or limit resources being taken from the earth. Even though I don't even know if that's really the reason why they did it, it could just be to cut costs and make most of the least amount of material. It makes me feel a little better about myself though for buying the sneaker. Look at it, it looks like Spider-Man missed the top of a building and accidentally shot the bottom of my feet. The 3.0 Pure Boost also lacks a midsole, which I was super bummed about because even though we have more boost and a thinner outsole on the Pure Boost 3.0, I actually feel the boost more in the ZG, or rather I find it more comfortable because of the extra padding and support I get from the insole. In the Pure Boost 3.0, you really do feel closer to the ground, which I guess is good for running overall. When I do run, I run in old school Nike runner shoes though, so I can't truly comment on that. Since I spent so much on Boost shoes, I wouldn't ruin them by doing something as useless as running in them. I'm kidding guys, running is actually really good for you, so do that shit. I know iPads and Nintendo Switch are the shit right now, but you gotta get up for a bit. Tell me how many times you've heard that. and especially because this is a Y3 model, so I'm definitely not running in these. Anyways, overall, when it comes to comfort, although the Pure Boost 3.0 has more boost and a thinner outsole, which is like the perfect equation for more comfort and means you should feel the boost more, I have to give this point to the Pure Boost ZG. The insole makes a gigantic difference, and I don't know if the outsole plays a true part in it or not, but the comfort in the ZG model is just there for me, while the lack of insole in the Pure Boost 3.0 basically kills the shoe. And for that reason, the Pure Boost ZG gets my vote in comfort and takes the first round. On to the second category, it's the fit, where we look at the upper of the sneaker and how it actually fits. I will kind of jump the gun here and say this is kind of where the Pure Boost 3.0 shines. Although this Y3 version of the Pure Boost 3.0 has an entirely mesh upper, I'll tell you why it shines. The back of the heel and the sock collar area in general is actually very firm. The hard TPU panels on both sides of the heel might have something to do with that, but it does an excellent job of actually supporting your foot and keeping it in place. While the tongue is oddly shaped, listen guys, I promise you I'm not shape shaming the shoe. I'm accepting of sneakers in all shapes and sizes. Don't get at me with that PR, BS, and politically correct hoopla. Let me finish my point. Okay, so while the tongue is oddly shaped and it may take a few relaces once in a while to get it right, the lacing system actually helps keep the foot and heel area secure and in place as well. The toe box area isn't my favorite. I mean, it fits my foot perfectly, so I have no issues with that. But when the side of the front of my foot makes contact with the mesh right here, like right here, it doesn't feel very nice, and so it's not that big of a gripe for me since I really don't notice it 99% of the time. But the time you do, it's just weird, man. It's hard to explain, but it feels like my foot is pressing against a plastic bag due to this laminated mesh type construction of the upper. The Pure Boost ZG upper is a prime knit upper, so that's already a +1 point for the sneaker. Obviously there are other mesh variations, but we are comparing the two within the scope of these two collabs. And so this collab, the upper is pretty simple when it comes to looks, but we're discussing fit here. The fit of this sneaker, oddly enough, is pretty tight. I actually went half a size up in these to a 10.5, where I went half a size down in the 3.0s. So my true to size is a 10. I went 10.5 in these, and I went 9.5 in these. Thank you Adidas for the sizing woes. The problem with these is if you go true to size, it's actually too tight in the toe box area, but the ankle area fits nicely. If you go half a size up, the length is good, the rest of the sneaker is good, the toe box is good, but now the ankle area is more open and there's really no way to resolve that. So as simple as the upper looks, it performs just as simply. The upper fits nice and well around the mid and forefoot area of the shoe. The heel and ankle collar area of the shoe doesn't hug onto your foot in any way. As far as I'm concerned, you're pretty much wearing nothing around your heel and getting the same ankle support you would in flip-flops, because the opening almost never even touches or holds my heel or ankle in any way. With that being said, the prime knit does feel much better against my foot than the plastic bag mesh of the Y3 Pure Boost 3.0. I will say that it seems like the regular Pure Boost 3.0 isn't made with the same mesh, although since I don't have them in hand, I can't comment on that. And at the same time, it's just weird and ridiculous that you're paying more for a high-end collab sneaker just for it to end up being made out of mesh. While the Livestock Pure Boost ZG is made of prime knit and it feels better against the foot, I do have to give this one to the Pure Boost 3.0. It absolutely dominates the ZG when it comes to fit and just makes the ZG seem like more of a style sneaker in comparison when you compare the reinforcement of the heel and the lockdown of your foot. And I'm pretty sure the regular versions of these have a pretty firm heel area as well. As you can see, they indicate that by having those small little tabs on the heel as well. For this reason, the Pure Boost 3.0 takes the cake in the fit department. On to our third and final category of this comparison. It is style. Once again, as a disclaimer, style is subjective, so always think about what you like first. The Y3 Pure Boost is a high-end sneaker in collaboration with a well-known designer, while the Livestock Pure Boost is just a collab with a boutique. I mean, it's obviously designed by designers as well, but not well-known high-end designers like Ryoji Yamamoto. This Pure Boost comes in a black and red colorway with these nice, painted, tattered aesthetic 3 stripes running down the inside of the toe, whereas the Y3 is just a triple white colorway. You already know I'm not a big fan of all white shoes. White supremacy does not rule in this household, so you already know I much prefer the Livestock over the Y3 Pure Boost 3.0. The upper on both have very unique features. I much prefer the look of the lacing system on the Livestock Pure Boost ZG and actually the other Pure Boost ZG models. However, the feel of the Y3 Pure Boost lacing system is a tad better just because of the fit, as I mentioned earlier. I mean, this might not be as functional, but when it comes to style, it's definitely there. What I really like about the Y3 Pure Boost 3.0 though, and this is exclusive to the Y3 Pure Boost, not any of the GR Pure Boost 3.0s. I love the design of the tape running into the hard TPU heel pads on both sides of the heel. I think this looks beautiful and has this sort of streamlined look. It also kind of looks like a ram's curled horns just sitting at the back of your foot. I also like the silver toe box shield thing they have going on here. Aside from that, I'm not a fan of much else on the shoe. The leather tongue with the Y3 text would have been the next thing. It is a nice touch and it looks nice when the shoe is unlaced and when you spread it out. Moving on. But for the most part, when you're wearing the shoe, it really isn't noticeable. It kind of looks like you're just bunching it up. It'll probably look like something like this, you know? But yeah, it kind of gets, you know, smushed in when you're actually wearing it, so it doesn't look that nice. So I'm not gonna give it points for that. Your boy might just give him negative points for that waste of effort, if you know what I'm saying. Not that anyone's keeping count or anything. Are you? I will give the Pure Boost 3.0 credit for looking like more of a runner's shoe since they are meant to run in, believe it or not. Obviously, nobody's running it in the Y3 version of these or the Livestock version in all fairness, although it's possible some pocket heavy weirdos are. But y'all the exception. With that being said, I love the color of the Livestock Pure Boost and the overall style of the Pure Boost ZG over the Pure Boost 3.0. The 3.0 in the Y3 design has some redeeming features such as the heel cup and the gray shield on the toe box. But for the most part, the saggy plastic bag mesh and funny looking toe box area when it's on your foot doesn't cut it. The Livestock Pure Boost looks great in every aspect. The thick outsole, it's also speckled. I mean, that's kind of neither here nor there. With that being said, I love the color of the Livestock Pure Boost and the overall style of the Pure Boost ZG over the Pure Boost 3.0. The 3.0 in the Y3 design has some redeeming features such as the heel cup and the gray shield on the toe box. But for the most part, the saggy plastic bag mesh and funny looking toe box area doesn't cut it. The Livestock Pure Boost looks great in every respect. The thick outsole, the single strap accent running along the midfoot, the seemingly floaty and minimalist lace cage, and the 3-stripe branding on the inner toe box. For this reason, I'll have to give the style point to the Livestock Pure Boost and the Pure Boost ZG in general. There you have it, folks. The winner of this battle is the Livestock Pure Boost ZG from these two Pure Boost sneakers. Comment below and let me know if you agree with this decision or not. If you took something from this video, please hit that like button. Let your friends know Pix does the dopest on-foot reviews and comparisons sometimes. And please subscribe for more juicy content. Catch you later. Pixelated out.